12 hours, $100 billion. If you don't spend it all, it's gone. Let's see how fast money actually breaks. You wake up with $100 billion in your account, no strings attached, except one. Spend every cent in the next 12 hours or it disappears back to a Swiss trust by midnight. No transfers to yourself, no hiding it in another account, no calling your cousin to hold on to it for you. It has to be gone, spent, in the real world, or it vanishes. Feels like the best day of your life. It's actually the worst math problem you'll ever face. Because to hit zero in 12 hours, you need to burn roughly $139 million every single minute. That's more than most people earn in a lifetime, gone every 60 seconds. Let's see how long you last. Every Bugatti, every Ferrari, every Koenigsegg currently for sale on Earth. Not just one of each, all of them, every single unit sitting in a dealership or a private collection that anyone will sell. $50 million gone in about 10 minutes. Except you're not even at 0.1%. To actually clear this bank account with cars alone, you'd need to buy roughly 1,000 hypercars a minute for 12 straight hours. There aren't even that many hypercars built in a year, let alone sitting around waiting to be bought. You've just proven that buying nice cars is basically a rounding error. So you go bigger. Watches. You buy out every luxury watch boutique in Geneva, every rare vintage Rolex and Patek Philippe at auction, private collections included. $500 million gone in the time it takes to sign a few papers. Still barely a dent. Fine. Real estate. You put in offers on the priciest penthouse row in Manhattan, 3 private islands in the Bahamas, and a compound in Bel Air. Total, $3 billion. Finally, a number that sounds like real money. Here's the problem nobody warns you about. Real estate doesn't move at the speed of money, escrow, title searches, wire verification, lawyers who bill by the hour and somehow still take forever. That's 4 hours gone and you've barely touched 3% of the balance. At this point, you'd have better luck losing money at a casino than spending it on purpose. New strategy. Buy entire industries instead of individual things. You offer wildly inflated, can't say no prices for a handful of pro sports franchises, the kind of number that makes an owner's lawyer speed dial them mid-golf round and forget what hole they were even on. Call it $25 billion, gone in an afternoon of the most one-sided negotiations in sports history. Balance left, $72 billion. Clock left, 5 hours. You've just bought entire franchises, thousands of employees, stadiums, merchandise deals, and you've barely moved the needle. While you're at it, you buy a movie studio too. Not to make anything good just because it's there, and because a studio comes with a back catalogue, a lot in Los Angeles, and a very confused board of directors. Another $8 billion gone. What's more expensive than owning a football team or a film studio, leaving the planet entirely? You pre-book 500 private orbital and lunar tourist flights, enough for your entire graduating class, your dentist, your old landlord, and that one guy from summer camp you haven't spoken to in 15 years. Cost $15 billion, remaining $49 billion. Time left, 2 hours. The scoreboard's not moving fast enough. You're panicking now. Good, so is the audience. You try to buy an actual country. Turns out sovereignty isn't for sale, Tuvalu isn't listed on Zillow, and no, Monaco's prince is not taking your call, no matter how many times you say the words, name your price. So you pivot to the next closest thing, private sector defense contracting. Surplus military hardware, fighter jet fleets, decades of fuel contracts. All the stuff governments buy at government prices, except now it's yours. Price tag, $35 billion. You now technically control more firepower than most national militaries, and you have 30 minutes left to spend $14 billion. Panic mode, fully engaged. You try one more idea. Art. Every major auction house, every private dealer, anything with a famous signature on it. But art authentication takes time. Shipping takes time. Insurance takes time. You manage to burn through $2 billion before the clock reminds you it doesn't care about your taste in paintings. $12 billion left. 30 minutes left. You decide to be a hero. Wipe out national student debt, end world hunger, whatever sounds good in the moment. You open your laptop and try to wire $12 billion in one shot. Transaction denied. Anti-money laundering law doesn't care how good your intentions are. You physically cannot move that much cash instantly. The banks assume you're either a criminal or an idiot, and honestly, at this point, fair. You try splitting it into smaller transfers, 10 million here, 10 million there. At that rate, moving $12 billion would take you roughly 2,000 separate wire transfers. You have 5 minutes left, not 2,000 separate afternoons. 5 minutes left, $12 billion about to evaporate, and every normal option is now officially off the table. 60 seconds left. One phone call to a very expensive lawyer who somehow answers on the first ring, like she was waiting for exactly this call her entire career. You don't buy anything. You transfer the remaining $12 billion into an irrevocable trust, a legal move that counts as spent the second it's signed, sealed, and filed, because in the eyes of the law, the money has left your hands. Timer hits 0. You kept the money, legally, technically, permanently. Somewhere, a Swiss banker is furious. Somewhere else, your accountant just fainted. Now you get to spend the rest of your life figuring out what to do with 3 sports franchises, a private air force, a movie studio nobody asked for, and moon tickets for people you haven't spoken to since high school.